You see, before the lost decades of the 1990s, Japan used to have an interest rate of around 6% by 1995. It was cut to 0.5%, and yet the economy stayed weak. Prices kept falling, companies held back, and banks were full of bad loans from the bubble era. People didn't want to borrow or spend. Moreover, the 1997 Asian financial crisis hit Japan hard. Growth slowed further, consumer confidence fell. The government tried stimulus packages, but debt kept rising, and nothing really fixed the problem. So, in 1999, the BOJ formally adopted a zero interest rate policy, and for the next 2 decades, Japan never really moved away from that 0% mark. To an extent, this policy helped stop things from getting worse, but it didn't fix the deeper problems. So in 2016, Japan went a step further. The BOJ adopted a negative interest rate policy, meaning banks had to pay a small fee to store excess money with the central bank. Japan had one goal in mind: to encourage banks to lend more money and persuade people and businesses to spend instead of saving. At the same time, with quantitative easing, the Bank of Japan kept printing more money and began paying huge amounts of government bonds, stocks via ETFs, and even corporate debts, anything to pump liquidity into the market. But even after all of that, inflation stayed stubbornly low. So, in 2016, the Bank of Japan tried something new. It didn't just cut short-term rates, it started controlling long-term ones too. This was called the yield curve control. It meant that even 10-year government bond rates would stay near zero. And if they started to rise, the BOJ would step in and buy bonds to push them back down. This was like a dream come true for borrowers. People, businesses, and the government could now borrow money almost for free, even for 10 years. This was the moment the yen began flowing around the globe. The reason even a tiny change in Japan ripples through the entire world economy. Economists call it the yen carry trade.